lesson. Today's lesson is going to be a little short, but I just wanted to get over this and explain the difference in how to make a statement into a question and how to use a statement which is positive and turn it into a negative one. So we always have rules that we should follow. We must follow. We can't just, if you want to talk formally and if you want to talk accurately, you need to know those elements within a lot of flaws and mistakes. So, lesson 8, past simple, negative, and questions. So, we will talk about the negative form of the verb, how we make a sentence negative, and how to make a question. Before starting this, I would like to give you guys a general scope of how we make our sentences negative. If we have if we have to be verbs in our sentences, for example, we have an example of let's say two brothers, Alan and Tim. So we say Alan and Tim are brothers. So this is a positive statement. But if we want to make it a negative sentence, or we want to change it to a negative scenario, we say Tim and Alan are not brothers. So how did we change our sentence or our statement from a positive formation to a negative formation? By using not. So we are going to read this, and as we go, then I will be giving you guys more details. I have just made some examples, and I will try to explain it today. So when we talk about negative simple past or past tense, we use the past form of the auxiliary verb. Now, auxiliary verbs, we will discuss this in detail, but for now, I'll just explain it to you guys. As we have two verbs here. One is called to be verb, which is, am, are, and one is called auxiliary verbs. And the auxiliary verb is do. That's the positive way to use it. But if you want to use it negative, then we use not with it. But do and does, that's something that, if you guys remember, we had it in our present tense and simple present. But today we are talking about past simple or simple past. I don't know what did I explain at the beginning, but today's class is about present simple past, or present simple past tense. And the other day we had a class about present tense or simple present tense. Okay, so here our auxiliary verb is do. Okay, so do is the regular form of our verb, our auxiliary verb. So let's make an example for do. Alan and Tim do their homework every Friday. Okay, now if you want to use this, and if you want to make that sentence a question, then we say, do Tim and Alan finish their homework or do their homework every Friday or every Saturday? So this is a question form. But today, since we're talking about simple past or past simple, we need to use the second form of do, which is did. We use exactly the same formula. We use did at the beginning of our sentences, and at the very end of sentences, we put a question mark because we're making it a question. Okay, so we will have examples down here. Negative statement, that was talking about how to make a question about simple past by using did at the beginning of our sentence. Now, when we use did at the beginning of our sentence, okay, then how we do it? I'll give you example. Did Alan speak to his brother? Now, if you say Alan is a male, okay, And okay, so Alan is a male, and we use did at the beginning. So when we use did at the beginning, our verb has to be in simple present form, or its present form. Okay, we can't use the second form of our verb. It doesn't matter if our verb is regular or irregular. Okay, so did Alan speak to his brother? Now this is a question, but if you want to make this statements, we say Alan spoke to his brother. This is a statement. Why? Because we have a period at the very end, and we don't have anything before our subject. So our subject starts our sentence. It's a positive sentence and a statement. So did Alan speak to his brother? Alan spoke to his brother. That's a simple simple past tense question. Okay. Now, negative in the simple past are formed by adding didn't, which is informal, or did not, which is formal, before the simple form of the verb. The verb be is an exception to this. In the case of be, for I, we use was. For singular person, second person singular, we use was. And for we, they, first person plural and second person plural and third person plural, we use were. I believe we have this example. We don't need more, but anyway, so let's go to the example. Negative statement. Okay, we'll say negative statements. So I have just made examples. Liz did not call me yesterday. So Liz is someone that I was expecting to call me. Did not, she didn't do this. And when we say did not, this is negative. Okay, or you can say Liz didn't call me, or Liz did not call me yesterday. So call is our verb. If you look at this, it's in its regular form. She didn't write him for 2 weeks. Didn't is negative. Here I use formal way, which is did not, and here I've used didn't, which is informal. Write is the first form of write him for 2 weeks. Used to be verbs was, were, to ask questions. You were not there last night. Now if you want to make this a question, then you should say, were you there last night? Question mark. Okay. Okay. You were not there last night. Were you there last night? She wasn't ready to move. Was she ready to move? Okay, and so on. So basically, this is the way we make sentences and statements, and this is how we make them questions. Okay, they were not in the class. Were they in the class? Yes, they were. No, they were not. She was late last week. Was she late last week? Yes, she was. She was not. Yes, she was. No, she was not. I was in class. Was in the class last month. Was I in the class last month? I was not happy when you called me yesterday. Was I happy when you called me yesterday? So this is what we use. Here we use the to be verb, okay? And here we use the auxiliary verb of do. The second form of second form of do is did. So that's what we use here for negative. and here we use for questions. So I hope it was a little informative for you guys. I hope you learned something. If you didn't learn anything, still you can repeat it. Obviously, I have explained a lot of stuff here. If you don't understand, it means it's a little high level. Otherwise, I have used a very simple way in very basic English. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share this, please. So I'll see you guys with a new lesson later on. Thank you very much and take care.